As you may have seen on our updates on our social media accounts, a group of on-the-scene reporters took charge at Ashfield Middle School to tackle the media landscape.
Media literacy has been a highly talked about topic as of recent, and we have the information you need in order to become media literate.
We're now going to send you over to Brockton, Massachusetts as we go live at Ashfield Middle School.
Hey guys, I'm reporting live from Brockton, Massachusetts, where Ashfield Middle School students are learning about protecting their data online, food advertising, and much more. So to kick it back to you, Steve, did you know that an average middle school student spends almost 9 hours a day using media?
Wow, that would explain why some industry analysts say that kids see up to 500 ads or more a day. One of the most productive lesson plans at Ashfield this semester was how the media targets us. This was an introduction to advertising and persuasive techniques. We went over how the media uses persuasive and advertising techniques within the media channels that the Ashfield students use every day. The students really engaged in the conversation of brand and celebrity relationships. We discussed the topic of Super Bowl commercials, talking about celebrities like Cam Newton and Tom Brady, and how having celebrities who are seen in a positive light are more effective for your brand. This led to the conversation of product placement in their favorite television shows like Pretty Little Liars and Big Bang Theory.
Hi, Erin.
Hi.
Okay, so I'm going to just give you some actions to do. I just do the first thing that comes to mind. Show me what it looks like to run like a girl.
My hair. Oh my God.
Show me what it looks like to fight like a girl. Now throw like a girl.
Aw.
My name is Dakota, and I'm 10 years old.
Show me what it looks like to run like a girl. Throw like a girl. Fight like a girl. What does it mean to you when I say run like a girl?
It means run fast as you can.
So do you think you just insulted your sister?
No. I mean, yeah, insulted girls, but not my sister.
Is like a girl a good thing?
Actually, don't know if it's a bad thing or a good thing. It sounds like a bad thing. It sounds like you're trying to humiliate someone.
So when they're in that vulnerable time between 10 and 12, how do you think it affects them when somebody uses like a girl as an insult?
I think it definitely drops their self-confidence and really puts them down, because during that time they're already trying to figure themselves out, and when somebody says you hit like a girl, it's like, well, what does that mean? Because they think they're a strong person. It's kind of like telling them that they're weak and they're not as good as them.
And what advice do you have to young girls who are told they run like a girl, kick like a girl, hit like a girl, swing like a girl?
Keep doing it, because it's working. If somebody else says that running like a girl or kicking like a girl or shooting like a girl is something that you shouldn't be doing, that's their problem. Because if you're still scoring and you're still getting to the ball on time and you're still being first, you're doing it right. Doesn't matter what they say. I mean, yes, I kick like a girl and I swim like a girl and I walk like a girl and I wake up in the morning like a girl because I am a girl. And that is not something that I should be ashamed of. So I'm gonna do it anyway. That's what they should do.
If I asked you to run like a girl now, would you do it differently?
I would run like myself.
Would you like a chance to redo it?
Yeah.
Why can't run like a girl also mean win the race?
Have you ever wondered where exactly the stuff you post online ends up? Or perhaps who has access to it? Today we'll discuss the importance of putting your best face forward in regards to your digital footprint. Maud, did you know that advertisers today can actually use your web searches and data history to target you for certain products?
Wow, good thing we're here to talk about online safety and securing your online identity and protecting everything you have online, right? And I'm hungry, so are we talking about cookies? Because I could use a snack.
Well, digital cookies that save information about you on your computer. Those targeted advertisements before, well, cookies have been saving information about you based on what you've been searching on Google and Amazon, so they can track what you've been doing online.
That sounds really creepy.
Yeah, well, they can also keep you logged in or save your preferences, so it's not all bad.
I mean, I guess that sounds okay, and I could always delete the cookies using a private browser or ad block software, right?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Speaking of cookies, in a recent ad campaign, Wendy's not-so-subtle jab at McDonald's has sparked a Twitter war that has brought attention to McDonald's not-so-fresh beef patties.
Well, it certainly looks like there is some beef between the two. McDonald's is just now moving to fresh beef patties to better reflect their advertisements.
Well, McDonald's isn't the only company that portrays different images of their food than the actual product. Did you know that most food companies actually have food stylists, and that much of what you actually see has been manipulated so much that the food isn't even edible?
Who would have known? Let's take a look back to Ashfield Middle School to hear what they have to say about this.
That on TV everything is not what you really get. And usually it's like fake food, and they like use like products like hairspray to make it look more like good and appealing.
So food advertising is about when people model their food so they can put it in restaurants and feel more appealing to people.
That advertisements try to make their food look better than they really are.
Yeah, they use hairspray to like make it the food stable and like look good.
What great feedback from our Ashfield students. But now we have another developing story about media violence.
I'm hearing our team has an exclusive interview inside Ashfield Middle School. Joining us from the media violence team is Kara to give us some insight.
Bella, what was your favorite lesson?
My favorite lesson was when we learned about cyberbullying, that 43% of teens get bullied.
When 43% of teens get bullied, I know that's a really interesting fact. Do you think that you're going to learn, use what you learned in the classroom about cyberbullying in your actual life?
Definitely.
So according to media literacy reports, exposure to too much TV violence and video game violence can desensitize you to real-world violence. Viewers may also experience a heightened emotional state for a short period of time after exposure.
Have you not heard of the Mean World Syndrome? Let's get back to Kara with these details.
It would appear the response was formulated by desensitization, a byproduct of the excitation theory. It is unknown for how long these effects have persisted, changing the very nature of how these students invest in the violent media content. More on this as we bring you now to a development of the topic of body image from a corresponding team.
Have you ever felt like the media puts too much pressure on looking a certain way? I know I have, and I can't be alone on this.
I definitely have, Stephen, but it's also important to recognize that many of the pictures we see in the media aren't quite what they actually seem. In fact, much of it isn't even real. It's photoshopped.
And what is Photoshop exactly?
Glad you asked. Programs like Photoshop can digitally alter an image to make people look more attractive than they really are. Magazines and advertisements can give a man more muscles, make a woman thinner, and just generally present a totally unrealistic ideal that you're expected to look like.
Well, so if you were to compare two photos next to each other, a before and after Photoshop, they wouldn't even look like the same picture?
Well, let's find out.
Baby, tell me yes, and I will give you everything. So baby, tell me yes, and I will be all yours tonight. So baby, tell me yes, and I will give you everything. I will be right by your side. If I can't find the cure, I'll fix you with my love. No matter what, you know I'll fix you with my love. And if you say you're okay, I'm gonna heal you anyway.
I never knew how much power the media has in manipulating images. Maybe I shouldn't be so hard on myself for not looking like these models, which don't even actually exist. Thanks, guys.
Coming up next, you can use more than just Photoshop and filters to make yourself look good.
That's right, Stephen. It's also just as important to promote a positive image on social media. Aside from making a strong and first impression on others and being appropriate online, employers almost always take a look at potential employees' social media accounts to see if they promote a positive image online.
Yes, it's extremely important to keep your accounts and personal information private and ensure that your passwords are secure and well kept.
However, there seems to be a new trend amongst teens that media literacy scholars are very concerned about.
Let's go live to Ashfield Middle School where Mark is on the scene with Adeline, a student at the school.
Thanks, Stephen. I'm here with Adeline from Ashfield Middle School, and she tells me that students at the school often share their social media passwords. Can you tell us more about this?
Yes, we share, a lot of girls and boys share social media passwords because sometimes we're all best friends, and we know sometimes that nothing will happen if we share passwords, but it's not always that. Like my friend Camilla just got hacked on Snapchat and Instagram, but she did not give anybody her password, so you have to be very careful where you're putting your passwords at.
We do tend to share an awful lot these days, but part of media literacy is knowing when not to share things. Thank you. Back to the studio.
Thanks, guys. According to a study done by Pew Research Center, 19% of teens are sharing their email and social media passwords with their friends or significant others. An interesting and concerning trend that we will sure be keeping our eye on. In another related news story, Pew Research studies show that 23% of news we share or are exposed to on an everyday basis are not actually true.
Not everything you read on the internet is real, so keep your guard up. I wonder if that Pew study is even real.
Don't worry though, it is. And so are the heartfelt stories you hear about puppies and kittens on your Facebook feed.
Now let's take a look live at Ashfield Middle School where on-scene reporters had a media intervention with students on how to spot this bogus news.
Fake news is basically more on Snapchat.
Fake news
is on more like adult apps.
Fake news is also on Wikipedia because anybody can edit it.
Yeah, you can edit Wikipedia or anything like that.
Speaking of real news, recently Stonehill's women's lacrosse team won their game against any 10 rival Adelphi. With this exciting upset comes the topic of how female athletes are portrayed in the media. We are going to turn back to the media literacy scholars at Ashfield Middle School, who have studied this very topic.
Reporting live at Ashfield, I'm here with Kinley and Camilla, who can tell us more about bias in the sports industry.
Men are treated differently than girls. Like men get treated better than girls because I feel like people think that they can't do the same thing that boys can.
And men like on TV they show like men like playing the sport and women just like when photos we just pose with their what they do for sports.
A recently released research study from Stonehill College communication students found that media literacy in the classroom produces and provides positive effects and tools such as critical thinking, increased knowledge on different media channels, and other areas of communication that are essential to implement into their everyday lives.
Great news to end our broadcast tonight, Aisha, and all the more reason for media literacy courses in our K through 12 classrooms.
Absolutely. And remember to stay media lit.
Now let's head into Ashfield Middle School to learn more about this topic as it develops.
Cut me up like a knife and I feel it deep in my bones. Kicking a habit I love even harder. You wanna know? I just wanna dive in the water with you, baby. We can't see the bottom. It's so easy to fall for each other. I'm just hoping we catch one another.
Oh no, no, just be careful, nah, nah. Love ain't simple, nah, nah. Promise me no promises. Oh nah, nah, just be careful, nah, nah. Love ain't simple, nah, nah. Promise me no promises.
That media violence
promises. Oh na na, just be careful, na na. Love ain't simple, na na. Promise me no promises.
Ashfield Middle School, what's up?
Thank you. Take him to town, Bella. Teach him a lesson. Let's go. Give it to him.
They should live their own life and like they could go on their own path. You can stay in your own lane. Like be yourself. Stay in your lane.
I think they learned how to really grasp some different concepts that, you know, these kids in this day and age are smarter. I'm sure they're smarter than I was when I was, 12 or at least knew more. So that's going back 30 years. And these kids are, these messages have been disseminated for years and years and years, and they just don't know it until it's put in front of them and they realize, oh wow, there's a reason behind this. There's a reason there's a Coke in there. I'm not getting paid by Coke, but they find out reasons, product placement, sexism in TV.
Promise me no promises.